Welcome to the channel, Decent Garage Crew. In today's video, we need to make a ton of progress on the ultimate American truck build. The problem I'm having is I have boxes and boxes all over the garage, inside my house, that are parts that I need to install on this truck. So today we're just gonna knock out as much stuff as we can to get some of those parts out of the way. And the last piece of the puzzle for today's video, I'm hoping, is going to be mocking up our completely refurbished original dash. And I can't wait to show you guys that. I haven't even seen it, so we're both gonna get a first look together. In the last video, we got our heater box and AC box installed. First thing we're gonna tackle today is the cooling system. Now, if you've ever driven one of these trucks that has any amount of horsepower, and if you're towing, you know the cooling system is essential. So we're gonna upgrade a few things. I'll show you everything we use. Let's get the radiator installed, the fan shroud, the fan, the coolant hoses, everything with the cooling system so that we never run into overheating issues with this truck. Now, one thing you're going to notice about installing a lot of this stuff, I'm installing a lot of the original brackets and some of the pieces without having been refinished. So I want to basically mock everything up. I'm going to put tape down to protect the paint, get everything perfect, and then I'm really going to tear everything apart, take a bunch of this stuff to get sandblasted and powder coated once I know it fits, and then reinstall it again. So this radiator is from a company called AllowWorks. Now, admittedly, these are built in China, but they're all hand TIG welded, and I didn't just go for the cheapest option. I actually have a buddy, Strong Kevin, who's used a bunch of these radiators, and he's been super impressed. So that's what I went with on this truck. On that note, the price is really, really good for what it is. The fit was absolutely perfect, just like factory. This is a 3-core radiator. They have a 2-core and a 4-core for these trucks as well. So fit really well. Also from them, I got this coolant overflow reservoir, and I got the anodized black because really everything in here I want it to be pretty black. But the radiator, we couldn't do that. So we went with stainless. So we're gonna mount this right here, just like we did on Long Bed Larry. I really, really liked that setup. So let's get some nutserts in here and get this mounted up. So after drilling out those holes for our nutserts, we ended up with a bunch of metal shavings here along the core support. Now this is nothing new, I run into this all the time, but I was scrolling on Instagram and I found something that I think will help with this problem that keeps happening. All right, so this is from Giraffe Tools. I saw these on Instagram and I got suckered in again. It's a vacuum that you install on the wall. It's got a 30-foot retractable hose. Oh boy, there we go. So here it is. Whoa! Oh yeah, there we go. So it should be pretty cool. I think I can admit at this point that not all the boxes that are cluttering my house and the garage are all parts for this truck. Some of it is random stuff I find on Instagram. So it comes with a couple longer pieces of hose, a little brush attachment. Seems like kind of all the usual attachments. Extra filter, or maybe not an extra one, maybe this is, yeah, that is the filter, and all the hardware. So a lot of work to vacuum up our little metal shavings, but I think in the long run, this will be awesome to have, not only for my projects, but my wife can use it to vacuum out her vehicle as well. Should be pretty sweet. All right, it's all installed. So it catches. Here's another cool thing about this. there's a button on the actual handle to turn it on and off. So let's see how it works. Oh boy. This is awesome. Now, I'm guessing this isn't how you're supposed to stow it away, but that's what we're gonna do for now. I'm sure there's some way to mount the handle over here. And then there's also, I gotta mount this up, but there's a caddy that comes with, holds all the attachments and stuff. So I'm gonna mount that probably right here, have all the different attachments. I honestly thought this was gonna be kind of gimmicky, but it's super cool. It's powerful, it's convenient, 30-foot hose, so I could pull it way out into the driveway and use it. And it's just super nice to be able to vacuum just like that. Shavings from drilling holes in the core support, stuff like that, where you just need to vacuum real quick. But I don't want to have to lug the shop vac all the way over here. The hose is just, I hate the hoses on shop vacs. They're stiff. They end up hitting, especially fresh paint, and scratching it. So this thing is gonna come in handy. We got our radiator in, our fan shroud, our coolant overflow reservoir, our coolant hoses. Everything is good. Again, these are not final installs. We got to pull a lot of this stuff, sandblast it, powder coat it. So I'm just getting it installed. You'll notice the clamps aren't even on the hoses, but that's why. Now, before we jump over to the Hydro Boost and the steering column, doing some of those things, which I'm really excited to show you about the Hydro Boost setup I found. I'm going to install the AC compressor because we have really good access right now. And then we'll get to our Hydro Boost, our steering column, our pedals, all that stuff. All right, so this is the Hydro Boost setup that I went with. Now, you can definitely just piece this type of stuff together, build your own setup, but I reached out to the folks at Vanco is the company, and I was actually surprised. It's a older couple that just kind of does, I mean, I don't know if they're older, but sounded like it. So anyways, they just build and sell these Hydro Boost setups for the exact application that you want. There's our master, and there's our Hydro Boost. So let's get it all unpacked and start installing it. So we need to get the steering column set up and mocked up so that we can mock up the dash. Now the steering column I have is the original one from the original truck, which is an automatic truck. Now normally I try and find a manual steering column just so it doesn't have the automatic shifter on there, but the steering column for the original truck is in such good shape. What we're gonna do is just cut the column shifter off, epoxy that so it doesn't ever move again, and install that because it's such a clean steering column. So let's get that done. Get it installed in the truck, and we're one step closer to unboxing this new dash. Guys, this vacuum, I'm loving it. All right, we got our pedals in. Let's hook the brake rod up. Oh yeah, right there's perfect. No, I'm joking. We've got an adjustable rod, so we'll have to go. We'll go adjust it and get it about right, but we just need the pedals in right now, so now we can get the steering column in. All right, the steering column is mocked up, fits well. What I want to do now, I want to mock up the dash just to make sure we don't have any clearance issues going on with our heater box that we need to take care of and address. So I've got the dash support brace. Let's put that in and then put the dash in. I'm excited to show you the dash. I've actually not seen it yet, but I had just dashes out of California completely redo it. Should be cool. So your guys' first look is going to be my first look too. Okay, we have the dash brace mocked up and it fits, but I found a clearance issue. This hose for the defrost vent on the right side hits. And then I went out to the OG crew cab, which has the same dash setup as this truck will. And we need basically a vertical line from here to be clear. So that hose is not going to work. So what I did, I ordered a Y pipe. So we'll block that one off. We'll put a Y pipe on here, have one go over to that defrost and one come to this one. That'll be fine. Not a big deal. So in case you're wondering and in case you're installing this, that's what you might run into. Now, I want to get the dash unboxed. It's right here behind me. And like I said, I sent this to Just Dashes in California about a year ago, and they completely redid it. While I get this thing unboxed, let me show you a little bit of footage of our trip out there and some footage they sent me of how they vacuum seal to repair these plastic parts. It's pretty incredible, and they're really the only one out there doing it. So let me get it unboxed, check this out, then let's mock it up and see how the dash turned out and see how it fits in the cab. Do you take their old dash and fix it, or can you just make a new dash at that point?
We always work with our customers' original parts.
Okay.
One of the things that we kind of strive for is originality, and there's nothing that fits better than an original dash.
Right.
I don't care how good your reproduction is, it will never fit as good as an original.
Right. As you heard, Jason and his team from Just Dashes takes your original dash, cleans it up, makes any repairs that they need, and then they recover the dash through their proprietary vacuum sealing process. As you'll see here when we get back to the garage, these products are incredible and turn out better than new in terms of quality and looks. So as you can see from some of those clips, what they do for these dashes and all these plastic parts is pretty incredible, and it is a huge need for the community of restoring old vehicles and resto mod builds when you're trying to keep the original look with the original plastics. They just become brittle over time, and I have dealt with a ton of these dashes, and just pulling it out of that box, it feels way more solid, and it just looks brand spanking new. And they can do, like, they can vacuum seal designs into it, but with how I want this truck to look very original, I declined that, even though, hey, it would have been cool to put my channel logo right on the dash. So let's get this thing mocked up here, see how it looks, and then we'll know for sure how does it fit with the AC box. All right, how do we want to do this? I think I should get up in here. Oh, be careful. Okay, that is just about it. So I think the only clearance issue we're gonna have is this hose from the looks of it. And since we're completely rewiring the truck, we're not using the factory harness, it's kind of nice because I get to decide everything I want to do, where I want to route it, how I want to loom it. Should be really clean. That'll be the next video, and I can't wait to do that, even though I'm super nervous because I'm not really a wiring person. But this is sweet. So we have our shifter installed, we got the cab installed, we got sound deadener done, we got our dash mocked up. A lot of this stuff we did in this video is just mocked up. We need to see how it's gonna fit. I'm gonna paint and powder coat a lot of stuff still. We have our heater block off plate. I had a lot of comments about the riv nuts facing outward on this one, and I agree. I don't know if I like this. I might look at a different solution, but we'll see. This will be painted, actually powder coated. We got our AllowWorks radiator and overflow bottle. We got our 5.9 Fab fan shroud, which we have the rad cover to come here as well. So we do need to do the intercooler, the AC condenser. We got our AC compressor in. We need our AC and heater lines. Heater lines will come up over here. AC lines will probably come along the fender. We got our Hydro Boost mocked up. We need to put our catch can. We got our starter in. We need to modify this steering shaft with Charlie's 3-link setup. It's going to take some modification, but I've talked to Charlie about it. It actually shouldn't be too bad, but you guys will like to see how we end up doing that because he taught me something about these steering columns that I didn't know. We need to put our throttle linkage on, our intercooler piping, and then wiring's a big thing. Oh, we do have our hydraulics we could throw in. That would be easy to do. That's it. I guess a lot of interior work, trim, stuff like that. We do have a lot of stuff in the back. We got to put our gooseneck hitch on, our bed on, our rear shocks, bumper pull hitch, a lot of stuff. The list keeps on growing. Well, we got a ton done in today's video. Again, a lot of miscellaneous stuff. We cleared out a lot of space in the garage from all the boxes. Problem is we unboxed that dash just now. And it's more of a mess than we started with. But that's the life of working out of a garage like this. We make do with what we have. I'll just get rid of all that packaging. Dash turned out awesome. In the next video in this series, we are going to wire the truck. We have a lot to do. I'm going to be using American Auto Wire's Highway 22 circuit wiring harness. We have to wire our electric fuel pump in. We have to wire our exhaust brake in. We have a couple other additional things to wire in, but it should be fun. We're going to get all that wiring laid out, loomed, looking really nice, ready to hook up to all the sensors and gauges and everything we hook it up to. So I hope you enjoyed that video. Thanks for following along on this build. Subscribe if you're new to the channel, and we will see you in the next one.